can see,
yeah,
the numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the
and then
amps go up to 10.
Exactly. What we do is, if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly. One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
On the surface, this scene from the beloved mockumentary film This is Spinal Tap highlights the absurdity of a trivial debate, whether an amplifier should go up to 10 or 11. Nigel insists that his 11-point amp is superior, despite Marty's logical argument that one could simply make 10 a little louder and keep 10 the highest number. However, like many great folk, Nigel is a misunderstood genius whose brilliance is underappreciated both scientifically and musically. Because Nigel highlights a real issue regarding scale measurement. A fixed scale can sometimes fail to capture the full range of desired experiences, whether that be guitar volume or psychological ratings. We can call this issue the Tufnel problem. Nigel's insistence on the need to go up to 11 can reflect a common issue. Sometimes experiences exceed the limits of an arbitrary scale. For instance, imagine you're dining out at a Michelin-star restaurant. You begin rating dishes as 10s because they far surpass your usual diet of McDonald's, frozen pizzas and pot noodles. But then a dish arrives that surpasses all previous ones before it. But having already given out a 10, where can you go from there?
I don't know.
Nowhere, exactly.
This problem was famously highlighted in the 1976 Montreal Olympics when Nadia Comaneci became the first gymnast to receive a perfect 10. Her performance wasn't truly perfect, but the previous scores awarded by judges meant that she had to be awarded the perfect 10. Of course, if another gymnast were to come along and do an even better performance, these judges would enter the Tufnel problem of having nowhere to go. Such Tufnel problems may also often occur within psychological research, where researchers use Likert scales, which are fixed point scales, to measure participants' emotions, attitudes, and perceptions. Repeated use of Likert measurements may lead participants to repeatedly hit the upper limit, but then later encounter subsequent questions that surpass their previous ratings. But the scale offers no way to reflect this. These ceiling effects distort data, making statistical analysis more challenging. One reason for the Tufnel problem is we have poor perspective awareness. We underestimate how strong our future emotions or attitudes might be. For instance, imagine a study aiming to measure annoying sounds. You might rightfully rate nails on a chalkboard, my voice, and traffic noise in New Delhi as a 10 on the annoyance rating scale, believing nothing could be worse. But then you're played this sound. Guys! And suddenly, you realise that actually, yes, there is something more annoying out there, yet you have no way to express it. This issue was neatly illustrated in a study on mind wandering. Participants rated their wandering thoughts at regular intervals during a monotonous task. Ratings climbed quickly and maxed out, making it seem as though mind wandering had plateaued. However, when asked the question afterward if they needed a Tufnel-like scale that went up to 11, nearly 60% of those who hit the maximum threshold said yes. Nigel's amps, which offer 1 louder, illustrate the value of finer discrimination in measurement. However, his real genius lies not just in the need for an extended scale, but in his perspective thinking that there may be scenarios where one might need that extra push over the cliff. Psychological researchers could take inspiration from Nigel by helping participants to calibrate their use of extreme scale anchors, ensuring they too don't find themselves with nowhere to go. If you were to rate this video out of 11, what would you give it? Do you have any suggestions for how we might overcome the Tufnel problem? Let me know down below. Remember, it's such a thin line between stupid and clever.